Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe.
And I am Tayo Salam. Many thanks for joining us again.
On the show this morning, we'll start with the big news coming from the League Management Company. That's the organizers of MPFL. That's the Nigeria Professional Football League. Kick-off date is here, and it will start December 17th.
Awesome news concerning the top flight league in Nigeria. We're going to be giving you match day one fixtures later on the program. Also in sport this morning, still talking football, but in the UEFA Champions League, where Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola has described the 2-1 victory over PSG as a statement win.
You know,
I wonder why.
Be able to beat Messi, Mbappe,
What is the big deal,
Neymar
Cecilia?
in the same game in Manchester. That's why it's a statement win.
Ah.
on the program, yes. The Rockets finally lifted up. We've been waiting for it. We're actually looking forward to another 16, another loss. Yeah, 16 straight loss. But there wasn't to be, because at point they were down by 10 points. But somehow they managed to resurrect, and they won by 118-113 over Chicago Bulls. One of the team with the best record from the East.
Well, what a result for Houston, finally lifting off after losing 15 straight games in the NBA. Cecilia, the win is even more impressive because of the team that they beat in the Chicago Bulls. So hopefully this might just be the catalyst, springboard needed for the Houston Rockets to get the season started. Really, we'll come back to that game later on. Cecilia has got a big smile. I've got a big smile as well too, because it was quite depressing watching Houston lose and lose and lose and lose.
Yeah, but starting with results early hours today.
Yeah, a lot of games are played this morning. So we have all of the results for you. 13 games in total, Cecilia. We'll try our best to run through all of them, starting with the Suns and the Cavaliers. Cecilia, guess what? The Phoenix is still rising, 120-115 over the Cavs.
Dim the sun? I don't know.
14 straight wins. Cecilia, the last time you gave them a target of 20, so the 6 short of that. I told you, don't bet against this team. Don't bet against them. They might just do it.
Okay, let's see if it's going to happen. 120-115 against the Cavs.
We'll see.
And Devin Booker, as usual, stepping up big time.
Of course, 35 points out for Devin Booker. In that game, the Lakers rebounded from losing against the New York Knicks at the MSG with a 124-116 victory over the Indiana Pacers. No surprises that they won because Lebron James is back in the lineup. What a player. Let's move on to the Hornets and the Magic. That ended 106-99 in favor of Charlotte. A 7th win in 8 games for Charlotte. They're looking good as well to one of the surprise teams of the season. The Celtics were in action against the Nets. That's from Brooklyn. He ended 123-104 in favor of Brooklyn. Kevin Durant scoring 21 points to pass Hall of Famer Allen Iverson for 25th on the NBA's all-time scoring list in that victory. What a performance and what a feat for Kevin Durant. You have to say, before it's all said and done, I think Kevin Durant will get in the top 20 when it comes to the all-time scoring list for NBA players. 25 now, so I think he'll do it. Barring, of course, any career threat-ending injury. Let's put it that way. Let's move on with still talking about the NBA. The Bulls were in action against the Houston Rockets. That's our feature game on the program. Ended 118-113 in favor of Houston. Come back to that game shortly. The Raptors were also victorious, 126-113 over the Memphis Grizzlies. Precious Achiuwa with 17 points in that victory. Started, as a matter of fact, and he finished with 17 points in that victory. There were also wins for the Bucks, the Timberwolves, the Pelicans, the OKC Thunder. Unfortunately, they lost against the Utah Jazz. There was also another victory for the Atlanta Hawks, 124-106 over the San Antonio Spurs. The 76ers lost against, for obvious reasons, against the Golden State Warriors. They can't. I bet they can't wait to have Joel Embiid back.
No, they can't. They just can't wait because Seth Curry led on scorer with 17 points. Not a good one for them.
Last but not the least.
Okay.
The Blazers losing against the Kings. Of course, the Blazers are, whenever they travel away from home, they're bound to lose.
They protect their home courts so much.
All right, so
star games for today. We'll pick the first one, which is the game, of course, between the Rockets
and the Bulls.
And that game, was went down to the wire. For the Rockets, as I mentioned earlier, down by 10 to the Bulls midway through that third quarter, and it appeared that, well, they're going to have 16th consecutive loss, but then somehow they had to end that run. They had 27-9 run to end that period, and of course put them on top, and they never looked back. Now you have the Rockets having 2-16. They won just 2 games this season and losing 16.
Wow.
And they made 8 of their 11 3-pointers attempt in that decisive third quarter. 17 of 36 threes overall in the game. The threes actually helped them out in this one. And that third quarter run was also a massive one for them.
Yeah, that was a turning point for the Houston Rockets. Shout out to Daniel House Jr., 18 points on the night. Christian Wood as well, so added 16 points and 10 rebounds. Kevin Porter Jr. came back from injury after missing 3 in a row. Finished with 14 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists. If you have
to put House Jr., what he did into perspective, 18 points in 17 minutes, and he came off the bench. So he literally won the game for them. All this happened in the second half.
I saw you call being clutch in basketball. Shout out to Daniel House. Of course, you can imagine how Stephen Silas is feeling this morning following that victory. I'm not going to say anything, just listen to it and make your own conclusions on how you feel Stephen Silas is feeling following the Rockets' ending of their 15-game losing streak.
But I couldn't be more than the win. Like, it just feels good for the guys. Like, House, it feels good, so good for House. And it feels so good for Scoot. And it feels so good for C. Wood, who has struggled from the free throw line and made 2 huge free throws down the stretch and made a great play off the roll to the corner pass. It feels great for Garrison and Armani and Eric, who has been like a stalwart through this whole thing. So, yeah, it feels good to win, but it feels so much better for those guys. Like I said before the game, it's really just about them, and I couldn't be more proud.
Proud, relief, Cecilia, what else? Happy, overjoyed, delighted. Stephen Silas hasn't had the greatest of the most ideal of starts in the NBA. Came into the NBA last season.
Then at that time he had the beard with him, and then the beard said, "I'm gonna go," and he left. Also, then PJ Tucker also said he wants to leave, and then he left.
Before that,
Russell Westbrook also. I mean, so at the end of the day, it's like he's left with nothing. And John Wall right now,
wants
to be traded. So he had to rely on the players. He just praised Daniel House and the other guys have been trying as much as
Kevin
possible.
Porter Jr., all of those guys. This, of course, this is just a win, just a second for the season. So they still have a long way to go. Like I said, maybe just beating the Chicago Bulls, who are top side in the NBA, might just be the catalyst that they need. Gives them belief that they can actually mix it with the other guys in the NBA. Fingers crossed, we'll see how it pans out. Of course, you know, in Nigeria here, we have a bit of a sentimental attachment to the Rockets because of Hakeem the Dream, Olajuwon all these years ago. They're a long mile from
popular for us.
Yeah, exactly. They're a long mile from getting to that level again. But who knows?
Okay, we need to leave the Rockets.
Yes, let's leave the Rockets.
And talk about the Chicago. Spare thought for them.
Of course, why not?
The Bulls. I mean, how they lost that game. Let's hear from the coach, Billy Donovan.
Well, I thought, just going back to the first half, I thought we defended the three-point line. I thought that was going to be really important in the game, and we did a good job. But I think in defending, we overextended a little bit in that first half. We kind of got beat off some drives, but we didn't foul as much, so it was kind of 5-5 at the half. And then to your point, I tried to call a quick timeout, like, I don't know, it was 10:30 on the clock. I could just see the disposition. We just were lethargic, and they were just more aggressive, and you can kind of see it. And that third quarter was very, very similar. The difference is we didn't turn the ball over, but they were 12 for 18 in the second half from 3. Yeah. And they went to the free throw line, I think, 10 more times than we did. And, we're going to have to be better on really both ends of the floor, because I thought we had 17 assists in the first half. We're moving and sharing the ball. I think you could see when Vooch is out there, it makes the game easier. And then we played like that, in the fourth quarter. but we just came out and we just kind of messed around with the game, and then before you know it, we're down, and we get down by 10, and we're up by 10. And I've got to, somehow help this group solve it and figure that part of it out, because it's been 2 games where you can't, unfortunately, we're a very good team, but we're not so good that we cannot show up and play in a quarter an NBA game and expect to win, in my opinion.
And that's what happened to the Bulls, and that's how they lost to the Rockets, the team that is having the worst record in the NBA this season.
Yeah, it's good to see that Billy Donovan recognizes that they're a good side. Fair enough.
Doubt,
your good side doesn't mean you can take the 3rd quarter off, or you take a quarter off. You snooze, you lose.
27-9, the run that they had was incredible.
They let the Houston Rockets take over, impose themselves on the Bulls, and that's why they lost that game. So we'll see. 35-18 in the 3rd quarter. Not good enough. All right, let's quickly talk about LeBron James. LeBron James, for the first time in his career, got suspended. Check out that record. That's ridiculous.
Yep, I mean, the
I
elbow.
find that hard to even believe that he's been in the league for...
He hasn't been suspended.
Wow. Anyways, he made a comeback against...
dropping.
Against the Indiana Pacers yesterday, or early this morning. Finished with 39 points to help the LA Lakers rally past Indiana 124-116.
In overtime.
In overtime, must be said. LeBron was 13 of 29 from the field, had 6 assists and 5 rebounds in that victory. Of course,
he made a pair of key 3-pointers in overtime, and that's what actually helped them in that victory.
Indeed.
So, it was close, 124-116. Just imagine he wasn't here, because Anthony Davis was suffering from that flu-like symptoms. Eventually, he had to see that because James was back. So he didn't need to actually do everything. Of course, Russell Westbrook added 20 for the Lakers. Now, Lakers right now winning 10 and losing 10 this season, and they're supposed to be title hopefuls.
Yeah, but we know we've said it out there. They've not been playing like championship or contenders. But perhaps with LeBron James coming back, they can, go on a run.
Hopefully, no stomach strain or anything again, no injury or anything, because it seems when he's not here, they struggle to win.
And at this stage, you think with the addition of Russell Westbrook to the side, you expect the Lakers not to struggle this much. So many other talents. Struggle when LeBron is not playing. It's not a good look at all. Anyways, let's get a post-game thought of LeBron James. Obviously, very glad to be back in the lineup. He's also been talking about that clash with Stewart of the Detroit Pistons, which led to suspension.
Obviously, I love the game of basketball, and just having the game taken away from you. It was, frustration and eager to get back on the floor, and happy that be back in the line with my guys tonight and show me some points. 4th quarter and overtime, it's winning time. I understand my teammates will be looking at me to make plays. I had the ball out of my hands, so I just try to come home for them. What will happen is there's a boxer on the free throw line. His elbow got kind of high, got me. If you watch the film, it got me off balance a little bit. His elbow lifted my arm here, and I basically tried to swim down on him on his arm. And when I swim down on his arm, he got off balance, and the left side of my hand, grazed his face, and I knew right away. So I knew right away I had caught some part of his head. So I went over to apologize to him, and obviously, you guys seen what happened after that. But definitely an accidental.
Accidental, and I think we're going to have to believe LeBron James on that one, because it's really a clean player. First suspension in how many years in the NBA. So I think Stewart should just take it as one of those things in the NBA.
LeBron got one. And Atlanta actually had 8 stitches. That was according to the coach. 8 stitches on the face.
Yeah, it was a bad.
Okay, LeBron is a strong guy, so you know how strong LeBron is. Maybe that's the reason.
Anyways,
top performance right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the guys that stood out.
Put up the numbers, of course. James is part of that.
James, 39, 5, and 6. For the player, Cecilia. Anthony Edwards as well,
33, 14, and 6 for Minnesota Timberwolves.
This young guy is looking really, really good.
Yeah, he is.
I have to say. Devin Booker.
Of course, that's the reason they are not losing.
Yeah.
35-4-3.
Of course, the Greek freak has been doing well as well. 33-7-5.
And 5 for the team.
Oh dear,
Trey Young
Young
for the Hawks, 31-7-11.
All right, so that's it for the NBA. Cecilia, let's get on with the show and let's go to Houston, Texas.
Staying in the U.S., right?
Yeah.
But this time around, we're talking table tennis, not the NBA. And table tennis, that's where the World Championships is taking place. And we have 5 Nigerians in that. You have Edem Ofyong, you have Olajide Omota, you have Bode Abiodun, you also have Aruno Quadri, and of course you have Cecilia. But then let's just take a look at the results from what happened in the round of 64 and round of 128. It's more like a missed one for Nigeria because of all the results we're going to reel out. The only person who got a good result, a fantastic one, happens to be Aruno Quadri. So he's through to the 3rd round. He won this one 4-2, losing the first game. But then he bounced back, winning the remaining 3, and of course, he lost the 5th game. And the 6th one, he had a comprehensive victory in that one, 11-7. It ended.
Tough
yeah, it
game.
was really tough. Then he moved over to Bode Abiodun. 4-0, he lost.
A comprehensive loss.
Yeah, a comprehensive loss.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the way he said it. So he won his first game, but he couldn't win the round of 64. And of course, move over to another player in the first round. He just couldn't go anywhere. We're talking about Olajide Omotayo. I mean, he lost his game also 4-0. But then he had a fight, 12-10, 12-10, 11-8, and 11-6. And of course, the last one we'll be talking about, 2 last one, we still have a round of 128 also. Edem Ofyong, she lost her game also 4-0.
All right, in the mixed doubles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Round of 64.
Round of mixed doubles where Abiodun and Ofyong, Edem, were in action against Gonzalez and Diaz. And yeah, they won that one, Cecilia, right?
Yeah.
11-9, 1-11, 11-6, 10-12, 11-4.
Yeah, that's how it ended for them. Now, let's talk about another thing that, really got us talking yesterday, right? Yesterday evening. History being made in table tennis in Nigeria, where you have for the very first time, you're having a Nigerian, should I say an African? Okay, first of all, a Nigerian being the vice president of the International Table Tennis Federation. I'm talking about Wahid Enitan Oshodi. He was elected yesterday as the vice president of the governing body in Houston, in U.S.
That is major.
That's major.
That's major because we all saw how it all started for Enitan Wahid Oshodi right here in Nigeria, and to see him rise to this level in a relatively short space of time, I think is mighty impressive. Congratulations to him. At the annual general meeting that was held yesterday in Texas, Enitan Oshodi polled 136. Okay, he polled 116 out of 136 votes, which is 85.2%. So it was quite a comprehensive outing for him.
There are 14 candidates, 14. And out of that, he got 85.29%, which was really great. So he's the second Nigerian to be elected to the world body after Segun George, and he will serve alongside 7 other executive vice presidents elected at the AGM.
That's awesome.
Awesome. It's really good. Okay. For other, you also have a woman also being there from Sweden, Petra Solin, becoming the first woman to be elected as president of the ITTF.
Wow. Congratulations. That's more we can say. Other than we wish Enitan Wahid Oshodi all of the best in this new situation he's found himself in, which is a great situation. Hopefully, he can make his, how do I put it now? Make an impact.
His impact. Because right now he's the deputy president for the African Table Tennis Federation. And so vice president of the world.
So it is awesome. It is awesome. Congratulations once again. We need to go on a break now. When we come back, we will be taking a look at the games played in the UEFA Champions League. We'll be telling you all about the latest qualifiers for the round of 16. Join us again. You're welcome back to Channel Sports this morning. We're still talking table tennis. We're going to the F Champions League later with our guest, our analyst, Badakitide Johnson, who's just waiting by. But before then, let's tell you about the Ashojoba table tennis competition, which is entering its 53rd edition. Cecilia, 53
That's
times.
The oldest.
That's ridiculous.
That's the Africa's oldest table tennis tournament.
Talk about longevity, Cecilia.
Yeah,
Anyways.
it is what it is. It's going to start December 1st. And one thing about this, because of COVID-19 and every other thing, we understand that, yes, there will they won't have that cadet category. Remember, there's so many players that have actually gone through it. Olajuwon Omotayo, for instance, is just one known figure, you know, that he passed through this table tennis championship. But then this said edition may not have that simply because of, you know, COVID-19 protocol and all. But then we're going to be having 9 titles competed for this year: the men and women, the doubles men and women, the mixed doubles, the para singles standings men and women, and of course the para singles are sitting men and women.
It is that trophy for me. Every time I see those trophies, it is amazing. Very unique stuff.
Very unique, one of a kind.
Yeah, one of a kind indeed.
All right, let's listen to, of course, the tournament sponsor, and also listen to the chairman, the Lagos State Table Tennis Association, talking about this event.
We're having an abridged version of the competition. Usually we have 24 titles being contested for, but this year we're going to have 9 that are being contested for. We need to control the crowd of players that will be coming to the venue and the fans as well, so that we don't have a situation that the competition will be responsible for any outbreak. My prayer is that we would have passed through this by this time next year, so we can go back to the way it is, because we look forward to rewarding the younger talents that come through. The most valuable player most times are the junior ones, the cadets. That's where we get the most valuable players. So we know the value of catching them young. And I think we look forward to that even more than the value it adds to the senior category.
We are going to have an entertaining time at the tournament. If you had come to the last NTTF tournament held in Lagos, you would see the performance of all Lagos State players who won medals for the country. And all these players will be coming out again at this tournament, and I'm sure you get the best out of Lagos from all of them.
We're obviously going to get the best, because the defending champion, Abosede Odusonya, she's also competing. I mean, asking when she's retiring, but she loves this competition very much, Tayo, and of course Emmanuel Augustine, the runner of last year.
Yeah, let's take a listen to them talking about the expectations for these tournaments.
Yeah, since last year, after the Ashojoba last year tournament, I've been training harder to see that I can play more and win this 53rd annual Ashojoba event. It's been a great tournament to me, because it's one of the best tournaments in Nigeria.
It's a good competition, because if you play Ashojoba in Lagos State, we'll be well prepared for national competition. So I'm very grateful for hosting this competition. I'm very happy. When we want to play Ashojoba, I always be prepared. I always train hard. That's why I always collect the competition. I always win the competition. So I cannot stop because I'm still young. So I wish to collect this year by God's grace. Maybe if I have pregnant, I'll stop playing this competition.
Abosede right there.
When baby's on the way, she can stop. But if baby's on the way, she'll just keep.
So she has no intention whatsoever
of slowing down.
So that's a challenge to all the other young stars coming up. Let's see if anyone can take her out.
Yeah, take her out if you can, because she's always preparing and ready to compete. December 1st, we can't wait for it to start in Lagos.
Yeah.
Okay, we're leaving table tennis and quickly touch down on what is going on in Abuja. So that's the Super Falcons. Yes, their camp. They have 29 players in camp, and the coach, Randy Wardrum, has been talking about how this tournament will definitely help the Super Falcons to prepare well for the game against Côte d'Ivoire. Now, remember the Falcons, the struggle to beat, they beat Ghana here, and they went to Accra, they lost by a lone goal. And of course, because of that, they've had to open a 9-day training camp for players that will be available. And the coach believes that this will not just be a one-off, so they want to continue with this so that they can prepare to face Cote d'Ivoire in February for the second round qualifiers for the Africa Women's Cup of Nations that will be taking place in Morocco in mid-June. Let's take a listen to Randy talking about the girls in camp, the players in camp.
I've been wanting this. This is only the second training camp we've had. We did one in June or July when we went to Austria. And so this is only the second time to really get to train. So what we tried to do is bring in a core of some of our veteran players that we've used regularly. And then as you can see, we brought in 15 or 16 new players to add to that to make sure we're getting the best players available for the next round of qualifiers. We'll certainly have another camp, maybe even two. I'll be speaking to the President and the General Secretary about that. You know, we'll have to work around the international breaks for the foreign players, but we'll certainly be back doing it for the domestic players for sure. For the tournament that we played in here, we didn't have all of our best players here. And I think the same for Ghana. We didn't have everybody in that was what I felt like was our best team. So that's the idea of this camp and then the future camps before February, is making sure we have all of our best players available. We'll see. You know, we want all the help we can get to make sure we're prepared properly. And, you know, the Federation's trying to give us everything that we need. So it's very much appreciated from the President and the General Secretary.
Getting everything they need to prepare for that game against Cote d'Ivoire. And hopefully we qualify for the Africa Women's Cup of Nations. I'm using the word hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of what happened in Lagos.
Exactly. And that's
and
and we saw the qualifiers against Ghana as well.
Ghana,
too. It was far from convincing.
Yes.
And then we saw the Ivorians absolutely annihilating their opponents, 20 goals plus.
One or something like that.
Yeah, over 2 legs. So it's safe to say the fear of Cote d'Ivoire is now the beginning of wisdom for Nigeria, and that's why that camp is on the way already, and they're not leaving any stone unturned, so Nigeria don't miss out from the World Cup.
And we know we may not be having Asisa Toshola for that because she's injured. Okay.
All right.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
All right. We'll be going to Lekki, Bada Kinsley Johnson will be joining us. Talk about the UEFA Champions League and also MPFL that it is resuming. Bada, good morning. It's good to have you join us.
Hi, Cecilia. Good morning. Hi, Tayo, and morning to the viewers as well.
Yes, indeed. But the MPFL is back. You're very excited, right?
Oh, yeah. Always good to have the local league active, have local players doing what they love to do best. It feels great that the MPFL teams can get right back into action. Unfortunately for me, you know, the players who could have stood a chance of getting a look in for AFCON have missed that opportunity.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice, as always, to have 1 or 2 players who, prior to now, were active, you know, be put in consideration, even if they don't make the final cut, go into camp.
Oh, okay.
Regardless, yeah, it's a good thing that the league is back.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's good to have the league back. December 17th,
Yes.
match day 1 fixtures are out already. So let's just run through those fixtures for you before we go to the UEFA Champions League review. Aqua United, defending champs, will kick off their title defense against Kano Pillars. That's what a matchup that is, Cecilia. There's also Lobby Stars versus Rivers United. Casino United will take on Rangers International. Aimba will trade tackles with Abia Warriors, so that's a derby right there to start the season for those two sides. Sunshine Stars versus Wiki Tourists. Niger Tornadoes will take on Plateau United. Quarry United, very unlucky last season, the way everything ended for them. Yeah. They will look to go again this year against Dakada. And last but not the least is MFMFC versus Remo Stars, straight up from the National League.
Against MFM in Lagos. We can't wait to see that.
Indeed. All right, let's go to the UEFA Champions League and let's give you results from games that were played yesterday night. So that's from Group A. Let's start with Manchester City taking on PSG. That was the star match of the night. Ended 2-1 in favor of the Citizens. And what a game that was. Bada's going to be helping us break that game down shortly. The other matchup between Leipzig and Club Brugge ended 5-0 in favor of Leipzig. That's quite a surprising result. Emil Forsberg with 2 goals in that game. In Group B, it was Liverpool maintaining their 100% record in the group with a 2-0 win over FC Porto. They're not slowing down at all. Thiago Alcantara on the score sheet in that game. Porto had the chances in the first half, but fluffed the lines. Elsewhere was AC Milan with a 1-0 win over Atletico Madrid. AC doing the Italian job in Madrid. The Group C, Ajax, 100% record as well too. They defeated the Besiktas by 2-1. Sebastian Aller with 2 goals in that game. And last but not the least, in Group D, Inter 2-0 over Shakhtar Donetsk, while Real Madrid avenged their shock first leg loss against FC Sheriff.
Not enough.
With a 3-0 win.
It could have been 6. Come on, Madrid.
Come on.
I mean, those guys disgrace you at home. I mean, just go there and score as
All right.
8 goals.
Nah, come on. They've done what they're supposed to do. That's all that matters. But let's start off with Man City and PSG. What a game that was at the Etihad. Very exciting first half. How it ended goalless, I do not know.
It was a spectacular game of football. Could have been more spectacular had PSG turned up. 2 sides that are pouring with attacking quality, not so great defensive. The cricket scores 4-3, 5-4, something like that. But to be honest, I thought PSG were extremely lucky that they scored first. The first half, City didn't convert most of the opportunities that they created. They were infinitely high. I thought one of the analysts in the Champions League studio last night was saying one thing that became stark after the game was that there is a huge gap between and that's damning, you know, especially for all of the money that they spent in the close season, brought in world-class players, not least the acquisition of Lionel Messi, arguably the greatest footballer in history. And for you to have that sort of front line and squad even, and not be able to string 5 uninterrupted passes together is just unacceptable, unpardonable almost for Pochettino. And those initial days, the excuse was that they needed time to pair together. But we're talking about match day 5 of the UEFA Champions League, and they still haven't, you know, sort of connected. You see a lot of individual play from the front 3. The midfield is not gelling. It made it difficult, as they always do, closing down very quickly, winning the ball back. But PSG didn't look cohesive. At any point, they didn't look comfortable during the game. It was a very dominant display from City in the first half. As I said, could have scored 1 or 2 goals. They hit the post, I think it was Gundogan, with a fierce shot from distance. There were some last-ditch clearances from PSG off the line. On one occasion, I think it was Kimpembe who headed clear on the line. City were their usual self, free-flowing, just very pleasing on the eye, creating chances, dominating play, keeping the ball, making shadows all over the pitch. But they couldn't convert. Second half, it was PSG who stormed into a lead on a breakaway, totally against the run of play. Lionel Messi played a 1-2, spread the ball across the face of goal, and there was Kylian Mbappe to strike a low shot in between the legs of the City goalkeeper, Ederson. But from that point on, City composed themselves, continued to play their game, continued to dominate. João Cancelo with another masterclass in how to be a playmaker without necessarily being a number 10, or how to play like a number 10 whilst being a defender. The quality of his link, you know, from defense into midfield, the way he ran into in between the lines, created all kinds of challenges for Kanda Herrera, Danilo later, who came on. They just couldn't pick him up. And, you know, with players like Gundogan buzzing all over the place, spraying the passes, Kevin De Bruyne wasn't missed. It was just a matter of time before they scored. And that equalizer came in some style. Ball over the top to the far post, headed back across, and there was Raheem Sterling to walk into the net. Second goal looked similar as well. So it seemed like they had rehearsed it. yeah, play the cross over the top of the full-backs to the back post. Someone knocks it back across the face of goal, and there's someone else to poke it in. This time around, I think it was Kyle Walker with a deep cross to the left side. Bernardo Silva with an exquisite touch to bring it back across the face of goal. And there, it was absolutely exquisite stuff. And there was Gabriel Jesus to just apply a simple finish into the bottom corner. The way City played yesterday, of the fact that on their day, there is no team on planet Earth that can live with this Pep Guardiola and get into their stride. When they hit top gear, there is no team on the planet that can live with them. And what they delivered yesterday was a masterclass that blew PSG out of the waters. The scoreline doesn't reflect their dominance. The scoreline flatters PSG. Should have been 5-1, should have been 7-1, should have been that sort of emphatic scoreline. But I thought times the respect they had for the PSG's front line meant that they didn't go gung-ho. The likes of Kyle Walker, Zinchenko in the first half didn't exactly commit full-on to joining the attacks because they had to be present in case the ball broke to the speed stars like Neymar and Kylian Mbappe, who are speed demons and can outsprint anyone on the pitch of play. But aside that, see full value for their win. Could have scored more, should have scored more. And they've won the group quite convincingly. And they remain one of the firm favourites to go on and win this competition.
Yeah, you're spot on, Bada. Imagine if City actually had a proper striker as well. They would be scary. Anyways, let's take a listen, get the post-match thoughts of Pep Guardiola.
We make a really top performance, happy to be in the next stage. Of course, congratulations to the team, everyone in the club. For many years in a row, being there in the last 16, now focus in the Premier League, and in February we try to arrive in the best conditions as possible to go to quarterfinals. And this season in Stamford Bridge, in Anfield, in Brighton, in Leicester, in Paris, here most of the times, we play really well. And you know, football result is random. Nobody knows. I don't know what happened. What gives you consistency and be a team is how you perform. And the way we are performing is really good.
Good indeed. Manchester City advancing to the last 16 as Group A winners ahead of the other money bags at PSG. Talking about PSG.
And the stars. Pochettino, yes, he's disappointed with the result. He expected them to be better. When you're playing against Manchester City and Pep Guardiola happens to be the coach, it's kind of difficult.
We are living in a business that rumors are there. Sometimes negative, sometimes positive, sometimes negative. I think that is not a thing to talk about the rumors. When we start the second half, we start really well, and then when Kylian scored 1-0, I think was the game under control. But after the circumstances of the game, I forced to do some changes that when the game was under control and then concede. And of course, the objective is to qualify from first. But the credit to Manchester City, that is a very good team. Yeah, disappointed about that, but we need to look forward and to try to improve every day.
Yeah, trying to improve every day. It can really be difficult. But then when you have so many big players, I mean, your front three that is as scary as anything, you don't really have anything to worry about. But you're playing against... Yeah, you don't have anything to worry about. You've got Mbappe, you've got Neymar, you've got Messi.
They're not
playing as it. They're not gelling at all. Yeah. Maybe Genesis that might just come in to help them gel. Especially PSG.
Yeah, but I said a lot already about
PSG and Pochettino. Quickly, another game. I mean, surprisingly, we're expecting Atletico Madrid to consolidate on the points they have, but somehow they lost to AC Milan. So that group where you have Liverpool, Atletico Madrid and AC Milan is looking like it's going to go down. Yes, no, it's not looking like it's going down to the wire. For Atletico Madrid, FC Porto and AC Milan, each of them can still qualify and join Liverpool, who are just 100% record. They don't just know how to lose. But then this game, bad. I mean, what got you talking here, especially with AC Milan? I mean, doing everything they can with Zlatan Ibrahimovic beating Atletico Madrid.
It was Zlatan at the Atletico Madrid. Was it the one that beat him? Why are you crediting Zlatan? Anyway, shout out to Messias Jr. scoring on his debut.
Well, he's the biggest guy there, right?
Yeah. But AC Milan doing an Italian job on Atletico in Madrid. Tell us about that game.
Yeah, without a doubt, Milan have sort of under-delivered in this competition. They are drawn in a difficult group against Atletico Madrid and Liverpool, but to think that they will just be picking up their first win is very disappointing, especially with the quality that they've got. I would have thought that they would run Liverpool and Atletico Madrid close for the qualification places. Unfortunately, Liverpool is a runaway winner, and the rest of them now have to dispute the second qualification ticket in that group. But Milan, we saw them in the game against Juve, I think earlier, a couple of weeks ago, and they're not a bad side. You know, they're not a bad side at all. The way they move the ball from back to front, they've got some maybe not exactly superstar footballers, but very useful footballers. Frank Casey, for instance, I think is one of the most underrated footballers in world football. Look at the quality of the delivery to pick out the man for the win for the winner on his weaker foot again. You know, if that was you know, some Brazilian player, the press will be waxing lyrical about him. You know, yeah, he plays so tidy in midfield. You know, he's a workhorse, but also very technical. I like to watch him, and I look forward to seeing him at the Africa Cup of Nations, representing his national team. Ibrahimovic didn't exactly sparkle last night, but his presence alone, you know, kept Atletico Madrid honest in defense. But Atletico Madrid themselves were favourites going into this game, but didn't create much, and can have no complaints whatsoever for losing the game. And now they've tied themselves in all kinds of knots. You know, Simeone will grow a few grey strands in the coming weeks, because it looked like they were favourites. Now, all of a sudden, there are two other teams that will fight for the final qualification tickets with them. But last night, I thought Milan were full value. As I said before, they should have gotten maximum points on the board before yesterday's game, but they truly brought all that undoubted potential to the fore, and they were deserved.
All right, we need to go on a break. When we come back, we'll be talking about the Manchester United job. Yeah. Welcome back. Let's just quickly wrap up the teams that are through to the round of 16. Those teams that don't need the last game to book a ticket, starting with, of course, Manchester City, PSG. Those two teams are already through, so the other two teams in that group up. One for Europa and the other just go home. And you also have Real Madrid also through. You have Chelsea, Bayern, Ajax, Inter Milan, Juventus, Liverpool, of course, through to the round of 16. Manchester United, Paris Saint-Germain, that's PSG, Real Madrid, of course, Sporting from Portugal, FC Porto, also through to the Sporting Lisbon from Portugal, also through to the round of 16 in that order. So we'll see next week the teams that will be joining. There's a couple of clubs that have qualified for the round of 16. Now, quickly, Bada, before we let you go, now Manchester United job seems to be like every names have been coming. I mean, Pochettino, of course, maybe after the end of the season. Then we have Ernesto Valverde, that's the former coach of Barcelona, being asked to come in and stay to the end of the season, interim base, before they get a coach. And of course, there's Brendan Rodgers, who says, look, he doesn't want to go there. What do you make of these situations? Seems United were not even ready to sack Ole, and right now they're just everywhere throwing all kinds of names. So who will be the next manager for the club?
Well, Manchester United are serving us lessons on how not to run a football club, and it's shameful for an institution of their caliber. The mess that they found themselves in is avoidable. It's you know, preventable. I mean, the stock of United as a football club is too high for them to be going through this sort of messy situation where you sack a manager, you're shopping around first for an interim, and then maybe in the summer with the hope that you can convince a Pochettino to take the position in a substantive role. We hear that PSG are willing to let Pochettino go, but only in the summer. So it's no surprise that they're talking to, or we hear they're talking to Ernesto Valverde, who the last time we saw him was manager for Barcelona, to take interim charge of the team till the end of the season. We hear also that Steve Bruce might be the recently sacked Newcastle manager, might be in the running. He's a club legend at United as well. They just need someone to steady the ship and see them through the end of the season. But Michael Carrick might be in with a shout, you know, especially after how well they did two nights ago against Villarreal, where I thought, yeah, they were against the ropes for the most part, but they defended well. And David De Gea produced some stunning saves as usual to keep them in the game until the final minutes when Ronaldo scored and Sancho scored, and they won 2-0 away from home. So if Carrick continues to get good results, they play Chelsea next weekend. If they beat Chelsea, who says the owners of the Glazers won't be like, okay, why are we looking for someone else? We've got our man is doing the job in the same way that Ole convinced them to announce him as substantive manager. So it's just a situation that a club of their repute, their size, and their value, shouldn't be in. This Ole experiment was always going to unravel at some point. The wheels were always going to come off, and they should have had a mitigation plan in place. Option A, B, C, even. But as it looks now, they had no option, they had no plan, and they're on the back foot, begging everyone and their grandmother to take the job.
But I want to thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Bada. Appreciate your analysis as always. Cheers. All right, talking about begging and all of that. One manager who's been linked with a job, Brendan Rodgers says, nah, this is not for me. Let's take a listen to it.
I should take it as anything, Paul. Like I said in the last interview, for me it's not real. So there's always gossip and speculation, and I suppose that will always be there until Manchester United appoint a full-time manager. But for me, I've always said my commitment's to here. You know, my commitments with this group of players, this team. You know, we've created an environment and a culture here which is about that continuous development of the team and the players, and that's where I see it. And even more so in this period where our results are a little bit inconsistent. So it doesn't come across my mind, to be honest. But I respect you guys have work to do and stories to say and create a narrative. But for me, it doesn't include me.
So I think we can take out Brendan Rodgers from that list, strike him out, and now focus on...
Do you have any names you want to add?
No, I'm not adding any name. That's not my job. That's the job of Woodward and Joe Glazer and all of the owners of Manchester United. They put United in that situation with the Ole experiment, which is bound to fail.
Did she get him out?
They're going to have to get him out themselves.
Okay.
And we hear Ed Woodward, who was supposed to resign at the end of the year.
Yeah, he's going to stay. Back. And it's going to be part of those who's going to bring in a new manager. United,
Talk about...
pray for a United fan today, okay? Yeah, just pray for anyone you know around you.
It's ridiculous.
All right, because Chelsea are coming this weekend. Okay, let's take a look at the papers. I'll start with the Sporting Life. Sporting Life here, you have Chelsea keep 84 million for Chiesa. Really? Why? Okay. All right, silly season will start in January.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's starting soon. Yeah. And of course, you have an update coming from Napoli concerning Victor Osimhen. According to the surgeon, it says it's too early to discuss Osimhen's recovery. So just focus on, getting better. And Joseph Yobo said Eagles will miss Osimhen badly in Cameroon. Of course, we all know that. That's why we're praying for a miracle to happen for him to be ready. Pardon. Okay. Yeah, I just want to be optimistic.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound like Tayo.
Being realistic. I'd rather be realistic. You can be optimistic as much as you want.
Okay, mine will cover yours. Mine is 102%.
We'll see about that.
And Martial and Van de Beek puts Man United exit plans on hold. Okay, the exit plans on hold. Were they going to leave before?
Who's that?
Martial and Van de Beek.
Yeah, because those two guys weren't getting playing time. But all of a sudden under Carrick, Marshall started. Van der Beek starts. So now, who knows, maybe their fortunes might just change for the rest of the season. Let's go to Complete Sports is the next paper. NFF won't give up on Osimhen without a fight. That's interesting. We'll see about that. Iheanacho Onyekuru Aribo, first Europa League goal. That's in Europa League games that will be played tonight. Rudiger urged to commit future to Chelsea. Igalo's talking as well to say Mikel Super Eagles have played with. That's interesting. Luke Mona came from a deprived background. Van der Beek reconsiders Manchester United future. Tuchel breaks Mourinho's record at Chelsea. What else? Chelsea
50 games.
Well, incredible defensive starts coming from Thomas Tuchel. And Chelsea fear Ben Chilwell's season is over as well too. That's very sad. That is the case.
And this last one this morning is obviously Sporting Sun. And Sporting Sun here, you have the surgeon also saying, I can't stop Osimhen from 2021 AFCON, says too early to talk about recovery.
What is that supposed to mean?
All right, I mean, it's just keep on and on and on and on. He's saying that it's not in his hands, so it depends on recovery, something like that. But I don't know why they talk about outcome, because it's 3 months. If it's 3 months, then all we just need to do, as I mentioned earlier, prayers, a miracle, a miracle to happen. That's all we need. So this is no longer medical right now. Man United players want Pochettino as next manager. Who are the players? They want a soft coach.
They want a coach that's going to put their hands around them all the
put your hands and give them a hug when you get it right. It doesn't really matter, Okay, Awoni says Mo Salah and Mane tutored me. Interesting.
And we can see the results on the pitch.
And AFCON 2021 CAF unveils Togo as official match ball. We can't wait. We'll start the countdown soon because Super Eagles will be there. And of course, we're aiming to win a trophy for the 4th time. All right, Tayo, we got to go now.
For the show. Thank you.
Literally just chasing me out. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. See you tomorrow.
I am Tayo Salami. Enjoy the rest of your day.